I have had a couple of jobs the last few years of school, um, and coming from a small town, I've never really had a proper job interview because everybody knows you and they kind of have an idea, so they're like, all right, we'll give it to her. However, recently I've been looking for jobs and actually had an interview about a week ago with Target. And they some of the questions that they asked were future plans. What do you plan to do? Like your availability. Are you available all summer? Are you not? What's your what are your times with that? Your relative experience was just a common one as well. But the one that I found the most interesting would have had to have been the scenario questions. How would you do? How would you treat a customer who is upset about something? I mean, how do you work with others when you're pressed for time, or questions like that. And I think I found those the most difficult because maybe what you did wasn't exactly the right thing to do, at least not in their eyes. To you, you might have handled it well, and to them, they might not have thought you did. So I found those most difficult, and that was the most surprising, I think, because you always hear other questions like, oh, this is what they're gonna ask, like, tell me about yourself, what would you bring to the team, questions like that. So that one was kind of new to me, even though I've never been interviewed before. I've taken a careers class, and I don't think it was ever mentioned, but I think that those questions were kind of tough. My thoughts on the interview process: I understand why it's done. The best way to pick out the best candidate, and I understand it. It's nerve-wracking, but it needs to be done, and if I were a boss, I would have to do it. My advice would probably be to ask questions. For me, for that interview, I asked questions about dress code, shift length, shift times. I didn't ask about pay because I wasn't really too interested in that, and of course you don't want them to think that's what you're here for, but that's one thing I didn't ask about. But for me, that would be my advice on that.